Welcome to section 4.5. This is the 35th session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll build security into how you choose and manage vendors. We'll answer several questions. Why does vendor security deserve its own review? When in the relationship, should you review a vendor? What questions reveal how a vendor protects your data? What deeper risks hide behind a vendor? And how do you right-size the review? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because your data now lives on machines you do not own. Picture handing your customer records to a cloud analytics provider you have never audited. Their weakest control is now your exposure, and their breach becomes your headline. Vendor security is not the vendor's problem alone. It is squarely yours. Why does vendor security deserve its own review? Because outsourcing the work does not outsource the risk. As organizations lean on cloud services and outside vendors to store, process, and move sensitive information, those vendors inherit access to your data. If you never inspect how they protect it, you are simply trusting on faith. So security professionals fold formal reviews into the contracting and procurement process itself. Think of hiring a contractor to hold your spare keys. You would want to know how they store them before you hand any over. When in the relationship, should you review a vendor? At 2 points, not just one. The first is during initial selection, when you evaluate a vendor's controls before you sign anything. The second is ongoing, through regular vendor governance reviews across the life of the relationship. A vendor that was solid at signing can drift over time, changing its systems, its staff, or its own subcontractors. So the review is a recurring checkpoint, not a one-time gate. Picture a health inspection for a restaurant. Passing once does not exempt you from every inspection that follows. What questions reveal how a vendor protects your data? A focus set that probes their controls directly. What kinds of sensitive information will they store, process, or transmit? What controls guard that information? And how is your data kept separate from other clients' data? If encryption is the safeguard, which algorithms and key lengths do they use? And how do they manage the keys? And what security audits do they run? And will they let you see the results? Think of these as the questions you would ask before trusting anyone with your valuables. You want to see the vault, not just be told there is one. What deeper risks hide behind a vendor? The ones that reach past the vendor itself. Does your vendor rely on other third parties? And do your contract security terms extend to those subcontractors too? Where will your data actually live? And if it crosses into another country, what legal implications follow? What is the vendor's incident response process? And how quickly will they tell you about a suspected breach? And what protects the ongoing integrity and availability of your data in their hands? Picture a supply chain. The weak link may not be the company you signed with, but the one they quietly signed with. How do you right-size the review? By matching its depth to the actual stakes. There is no single checklist that fits every vendor. You tailor the scope to your organization's specific concerns, the kind of service the vendor provides, and the sensitivity of the information you will share. A vendor handling public marketing copy warrants a lighter touch than one holding regulated customer records. Think of adjusting the locks to the value inside. You do not fit a bank vault door to a garden shed or a flimsy latch to a treasury. So let's bring it together. Vendor security deserves its own review because outsourcing the work never outsources the risk. You review at selection and again through ongoing governance, since a good vendor can drift. Direct questions reveal how they protect and segregate your data, and deeper questions expose subcontractors, data location, breach response, and availability. Then you right-size the review to the stakes. Handle procurement this way, and every vendor you trust has earned it. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.